This is not the Church of Latter-day Saints of Joseph Smith. This is the Church of Jesus Christ.
So plain and precious. Finally, the Book of Mormon is the keystone of testimony. Just as the arch crumbles if the keystone is removed, so does all the church stand or fall with the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon. The enemies of the church understand this clearly.
Travis Wingitzel. Back in black, which technically is navy blue this morning. I think there was Jasmine who was wondering, and I think there's been a couple other females who have noticed. I wear Hanes, the shirts, socks, the Aaronic priesthood wear. I'm the only one that calls it that. Only one. But my jeans, they're Levi's. My shoes are Reeboks. But running shoes are, I've experimented. I prefer non-lace because I'm running. I don't want to have to hassle with tying my shoes or the shoelaces coming undone during my run and blah, blah, blah. And so I've experimented over the decades. I've tried Skechers. They've got a headquarters downtown Salt Lake. They're crap. It's a very poor quality product. It's great appearance and it feels great for the first little while. And then it all of a sudden begins to break down and it just rapidly increases, and I can't maintain them longer than 8 months. And so I'm never buying Skechers ever again because of that one time trying Skechers. So despite their cheap price, it's best to go with the more expensive stuff that lasts me for... I had Adidas shoes before these. They lasted me for over a decade. That's how good they were. And so, it's a little more expensive, especially with my big feet. Wide big feet. But it's worth the investment. Like Levi's. I get Levi's, they can last as long as I don't expand my waistline. And thanks to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and their attempts to murder me, that's not an issue anymore. God. Over 100 pounds. Dear God. So anyway, last night I did a James and Jasmine video, and it was titled such that it should have shown over 100,000 views this morning. These are the kinds of video topics that attracts the world. Not just Mormons, not just critics, but people who've heard about the Mormon Church but don't really know about the Mormon Church. James and Jasmine should have made me the most popular guy in the universe since July of 2017. When I came out with that video of the signs in the heaven from Revelation chapter 12. And being the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, I gave exclusive information in that video. despite the video being of very poor quality because I'm still was new on my movie maker back then. But as anybody can see, if they go to the popular tab on the video page, that it's an anomaly, and it's 6 years ago. And it's disturbing that YouTube is responsible for being ordered by the church to alter their algorithms to silence my voice, when clearly lots and lots of people want to hear what I have to say. Now, yes, there are a whole lot of people who don't want to hear what I have to say. And that's because they're ignorant. They're not intelligent. They have been lied to by whatever source, whether it's a religious source, whether it's the cultural source, familial source, nativity, or what else? What other source? Whatever the source. It's just not what they've been told, and so they automatically don't believe. And so, because I am also the foremost expert in Mormonism, and Mormons want to disagree automatically, and critics who are popular also want to disagree. It's also very frustrating because there are likewise a lot of people who want to hear my subject matter. I come out with exclusive video information that no one else, not Mormons, not critics, come up with. And I'm even first to many of the videos that other critics end up doing eventually, and they get popular with it. For example, the critic who is queer, in her opening video, I did the video on her. She said she decided to become queer and abandon her family. I lost all respect for her, and then I listened to the one that attracted my attention from YouTube's recommendations. And she knows nothing of Mormonism. She's just a regular teen girl in the Mormon church. Casual Mormon, going through the motions. So she knows the traditional culture of her upbringing in Mormon society as a Mormon girl born and raised in the covenant. But she didn't invest in studying Mormonism. And that's common. That's why Mormons are still in the church, is because they're not studying. As the missionaries from Utah are exposed by James and Jasmine, who simply study, which is what the missionaries tell investigators to do. It's just that they're not actually supposed to study. They're just supposed to read, ponder, pray, and get a feeling that is true, and then join the church and begin paying money. And this is a danger that Mormons are in, and they either don't see it, or they're so brainwashed, indoctrinated, hypnotized, whichever word you recognize, into the Mormon lies, that they believe the lies as truth. And so I've gotten those comments by Mormons who say, we must sacrifice for this church. Sacrifice brings blessings. You're not supposed to sacrifice your life for a lie, especially. And so the queer woman, to go back onto her again, she came out with a video yesterday, and YouTube recommended it this morning as they're flooding my recommendation homepage with a whole bunch of Mormon and a couple of critic stuff now. God. They cannot get the algorithms right. They have no idea what's going on in my brain. And so, yeah, AI, I'm not worried about AI to take over my brain. I am more worried about AI taking over your brains and making you guys the enemy of the people, as the children in New York are demanding death to Israel because they are not getting taught the history of the Middle East. They're just believing whatever TikTok is telling them. And so she did a video in which the church is trying to get back money from their insurance providers. And she's got over almost 2,000 by now. 2,000 views since yesterday. The video I did with James and Jasmine got an instant 13 views right off the bat. And then the algorithms kicked in. Uh-oh, Travis has got a breakout video. Shut it down. And literally, it was shut down. For over an hour later, it stuck at 13 views. And then finally, I noticed 14. And then some time went by, and then 15. And some time went by, and then 16. YouTube purposely shut it down. It was going to be a big video, as it should have been. People want to know the information that James and Jasmine have to share with you. And so the video that the queer did, I'd already done months ago when the church news, or actually it was the local news, announced it. This was a long time ago, dear. Where have you been? And of course, I don't even think I got 50 views for it altogether until YouTube finally silenced it permanently in the gravestone, or the graveyard that is my videos page. Where videos go to die. And it's just sad because she reads things, she hears things, and it's critical, and so she agrees with it, and so she does a video on it. And it took her all this time to find out that that's what the church was doing. She has no idea about the context. She doesn't research the context to know what's going on. She doesn't know that it was a response to the SEC fining them $5 million. So they wanted money back. See, these kinds of things, the people around the world need to know about the church. Mormons need to know what the church is up to. Critics need to get the correct information about the church. Yeah, it's all fun and games criticizing Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. but you still are wrong. Guys, 1 Nephi, chapter 1, verse 2. You got punked by Brigham Young, just like Mormons did. And you were Mormons. And thus you were punked. But you left the church for other reasons. And so you never understood what it meant to be the learning of the Jews. As another person had told me that missionaries had told them when they had asked them about the learning of the Jews, the missionaries told them, well, Jesus is a Jew. And the Book of Mormon therefore proves it. It's therefore literal history. Oh my God. The stupidity is humongous. So yes, go back to Bruce Willis's very popular show, I See Stupid People. I see dead videos on my video page. Well, that was a very good movie, Bruce. We miss you. And so, yeah, it's that time of the year where I need to pull out Die Hard and watch the whole collection. Best Christmas series ever. Not just Christmas movie anymore. It's the whole series. And I had to rebuy the final one because of the Russian in there. I didn't get the closed captions when I converted it to digital format. And so, yeah, I've had to fix that. But we're set now. We're set to have a Holly Jolly Christmas. Holly Jane Christmas. Oh, that's right. How many of you remember Holly Jane? You thought Nancy Drew was hot? Yep, Holly Jane, that's right. She's buried somewhere. I'll have to resurrect her from the grave. Ah, man. And so, yeah, as much as it's fun to watch these popular critics as they're teaching people watch them, people believe them. And that spreads around and around and around and around. And so the stories that are lies are becoming the truth. And people come after me. You know, good old Dodger Dave. I hope he's doing well. He's a Southern Californian just like me, and both love the Dodgers. That's why Dodger Dave. You know, I had gotten in contact with him again, and we were chatting it up, and I had to remind him, you know, the Danites framed Joseph Smith for polygamy. And I had to remind him, those are forged documents. And at least he's reasonable. Other Mormons or other critics are not reasonable. And I get people who aren't Mormon who listen to critics who come on my channel to put their, you know, mantra of hate. It's parroted all over the place. Mormon church is a cult. You know, stuff like that. You know, Joseph Smith was a pedophile. I can't allow any bad-mouthing of Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon because you are not doing your research. You heard somebody else You liked it, that it's criticizing the church, and then you're going around spreading it as a troll. You are not understanding what it means to be the learning of the Jews. And it's extremely frustrating, because I should be far more popular. Everybody should be coming to me to learn from me and then doing their videos. This is what Travis said lately. And so we've dug deeper and we found this too. And then, yeah, great. Then I can listen to you finally. I can go, good for you. You've learned from me. You learned how to learn, not just parrot what others tell you to believe. So, as much as it's fun to criticize Mormonism, the misinformation results in a lot of problems as the church is able to sneak stuff by until some critic finally catches on. Oh, but they don't know the big story. They were upset that the SEC fined them for federal criminal crimes, financial crimes. They wanted money back. So yeah, insurance providers. Alrighty, that's it for this video. I feel like this is way too short. I need to keep talking.